Eh, eh, eh. Eh, eh, eh. Eh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brian Appleby, and welcome to the Ghetto News. Tonight's show is going to be a little different. I'm really not going to get into any news coverage or anything. I want to discuss something that's important to me, and I'm sure some of you, and that is the presidential election that'll be coming up, and the Democratic race that's going on now. Now, in this reporter's leisure time, I've written a piece that I would like to call A Piece of My Mind. And hopefully, at a later date in other episodes of the Ghetto News, I will think of other things that I can give a piece of my mind on. But tonight, the piece of my mind is dedicated to the presidential election. Now, I don't have fancy equipment like a teleprompter or anything, so I will not be able to look into the camera and read at the same time. But I assure you this is a piece I wrote, and it's my view on it. And let me bring it up here on the screen here, and we'll get down to it. Alright. And it reads simply like this. There's a presidential election coming up in November. The most powerful job in the United States is up for grabs, and we're down to 3 candidates. Now, I'm not a Republican, nor do I think that a Republican is going to win the race to the White House. So for this piece of my mind, I will leave John McCain out of this. Which leaves us with the 2 Democrats, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Now, I myself live in Pennsylvania, and just 2 nights ago, we had our Democratic primary. Hillary Clinton won my state by a 10-point margin, cunningly portraying herself as the hometown girl. Miss Clinton pulled it off with flying colors. I must admit, though, this reporter is quite confused how she did it, considering she came into Philadelphia representing Scranton, PA, of all places, Scranton, PA. Trust me, there ain't no one in Philadelphia who cares about Scranton, PA. So I'm thinking she must have overwhelmed the dumb and ugly people part of the state, which stretches from the end of Pennsylvania, or should I say Philadelphia, stretches from the end of Philadelphia straight west to the beginning of Pittsburgh. That's right, in this reporter's view, the further west you go from Philadelphia, people get uglier, dumber, and more racist by the mile. Until you hit Pittsburgh, that is. Now, I can't say I don't like Hillary Clinton, but I do despise the way she is running her campaign. For instance, Florida and Michigan were not supposed to count, and probably aren't going to count. And both candidates knew this. Hell, Barack Obama didn't even put his name on the ballot. And yet Hillary is now saying they should count. This is absolutely ridiculous in my view. Hillary, also down in the delegate count by about 150 pledged delegates, was seen on TV last month saying that all pledged delegates should vote independently, knowing that the superdelegates are the only way she could win. But now that she has won big states like Texas, Ohio, and now Pennsylvania, she wants the pledged delegates to vote by how their community voted. This is some bull crap, and we should all have our boots on by this point. In my view, Hillary Clinton has shown us already the same old politics. Say and do whatever it takes to become president. In a weird way, Hillary is one of the reasons I'm going to vote for Barack Obama. She keeps saying Barack doesn't have the experience. And I don't know about you, but that's one of the reasons I'm voting for him. Because you're right, Hillary. Barack doesn't have experience, or as much experience with a lot of things as you do. And that includes letting oil and drug companies run this country. I'm sure you know all about that and have a lot of experience with it. Listen, Bill Clinton was a good president. Our country experienced a balanced budget for the first time in history, and a national surplus that exceeded over $500 million or $500 billion. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but the point is, we were balanced and we were ahead. The thing is, though, Hillary is not Bill, and people need to remember that. Now I want to get into the issue of electing a black president. Because for every Democrat, and even some Republicans, this is going to have to be the choice we make, or John McCain will be the next president of the United States. Now, I'm not ignorant to the fact that it is going to be very hard for a lot of white people to vote for a black man. For myself, though, it'll be a lot easier being from Philadelphia and growing up in a mixed race neighborhood. Not to mention, my own sister is married to a black man. I have a nephew who's half black, and that same black man that my sister's married to was also my best man at my wedding. Now, with that said, I still find myself looking at people through racial eyes sometimes. But in the end, people are people, and a good man is a good man, no matter what he looks like. Not to mention, black people have done some incredible things for this country. If people could just judge a man by his character and righteousness and his ability to see good in everyone, then Dr. Martin Luther King would have been one of the greatest men you would have ever known. I would just like to share some facts with some of the white people out in the world right now. We all know that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but most of us don't know that it was a black man that made it better by inventing the carbon filament that goes in it. How about a white man invented the shoe, but in the mid-1800s, it was a black man who invented a shoe machine that made shoemaking 900% faster. How about George Washington Carver, who was a slave and didn't make it to college till he was 30 years old? He invented that favorite snack that all white moms and dads give to their kids, peanut butter. A black man invented the gas mask, and there's no telling how many lives that saved. And oh yeah, that same black man also invented the first traffic light. How about good old Otis Boykin, who invented the electronic controlling device for guided missiles, not to mention IBM computers and, the pacemaker, which made it possible for all kinds of racist-ass white men to live longer. Let's see, what else we have here? Oh, how about Dr. Patricia Bath, who invented an eye surgery that made it possible for blind people to see again. I wonder how many racist-ass white people out there could even have thought of something like that. I guess we'll never know. Anyway, my point is, let there be no mistake about it. Black men and women have been making this country better for a lot of years, and I see no reason for it not to happen now. I think too many white people are in fear of black people taking over the earth and turning our national anthem into a rap song, which I assure you will never happen, even if our president is black. Besides, white people are just too damn good at suppressing and demoralizing other races for that to happen. On a side note, did you know that Pennsylvania is only 18% black? That means this. Let's say there are 20 million people in Pennsylvania. That would mean that there are more than 16 million people who are not black, compared to a mere less than 4 million who are. Which translates simply, your kids' will probably not see black people take over the earth. So, I'm saying like this. Put away your fears, angry racist white people of America, and do what's right. Or we will end up with a president who has to eat through a straw, wear diapers, and even forget his name time to time. Well, that's it for the peace of my mind. I'm Brian Appleby. Please tune in again for another installment of the Ghetto News. And remember, wherever you are, there you go.